Let's take a look at today's headlines from Houston. I'm Trason Bragg. Federal investigators are now looking into whether recent changes to Houston ISD's special education could violate disability laws. And families are sharing their concerns about what possible changes could mean for their kids. Michelle Choi reports.
Inside Houston City College's central campus in Midtown Saturday, families gather for a special education resource fair hosted with the nonprofit Partners Resource Network. But one day after the U.S. Department of Education opened an investigation into Houston ISD's proposed special education changes, many parents here say the concerns hit home. Among them, Elizabeth Ortega, whose son is on the autism spectrum and once attended HISD before she says a lack of special education support pushed their family to transfer districts.
What special education is supposed to do, it's supposed to give our kids that have a disability access to the general education curriculum to close that gap of where our kids are and where they need to be.
Ortega says she worries the district's proposed changes could move students further away from that goal.
It's like we're looking at segregation instead of inclusion.
The federal investigation focuses on concerns some students in self-contained special education classrooms could be reassigned to different campuses next school year. Jane Frio, an HISD parent and special education advocate, says families are frustrated by what they describe as broad changes impacting vulnerable students.
Special education really has to be individualized for each student. And when you make these blanket changes and send parents, notes home in the mail, that isn't how special education is done.
HISD has said most special education students would not be affected and says the changes are aimed at creating smaller class sizes and more personalized instruction. An explanation Frio says parents don't buy. And now with the federal government stepping in, some parents say they finally feel heard.
Having the federal government backing up your concerns certainly empowers a lot of people to keep fighting.
In Houston, Michelle Choi, KHOU 11 News.
Michelle, thank you. Now, we're hearing from a Harris County deputy who was shot in a random drive-by while laying in his bed. For his family, it's another devastating setback less than 2 years after losing their home in the derecho. Now, I spoke to the deputy about his recovery and the long road ahead.
Been a rough road, but I'm doing good. I'm holding in.
Rough road may be an understatement for Harris County Deputy Augustine Arellano and his family. On April 25th, what started as a quiet night at home quickly turned into chaos.
We can hear the car or vehicle, whatever it was, coming down the road, and then just pop, 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 like they were close.
One of those bullets ripped through the family's bedroom.
As I picked my head up, I saw it hit me, and I held my side and looked at my hand, and I could see blood. My daughter started screaming right away.
2 of your daughters were in the room with you. How close were they to potentially have gotten hit?
Where the window was, she was right in front of it. We don't know exactly where, but it'd have to be within inches of where she was standing where the bullet came in through.
The bullet pierced Arellano's intestine and colon and fractured his spine. He survived, but the trauma remains. This is supposed to be your safe place, and this is where something like this happened.
We're here in this house, being displaced from, the fire destroying our other one. And, what was supposed to be, it's almost 2 years ago.
That fire happened during the derecho when the family lost their home. Arellano says their rebuild was supposed to be finished last year, but claims the construction company asked for more money outside the original contract.
And it's like, oh, we're gonna need 10% more. And it might be $60,000 more.
Another setback for a family that says it keeps getting knocked down.
It's like, we'll get one step forward and then something brings us 4 steps back.
Now, I spoke with DLT Construction. One of the owners claims that the additional cost requests were due to rising material prices and upgrade requests made by the family. Now, if you would like to help this hero family, Deputy Arellano and his family, during this very difficult time, we have instructions on how you can do so at khou.com. Meanwhile, the suspect involved in the shooting, Rodrigo Arriaga Jr., is now charged with deadly conduct. All right, crews are working to set up the perfect soccer pitch inside Houston Stadium. They are putting down a layer called permavoid, which allows airflow to help grass roots grow stronger. After more fabric and an irrigation system is installed, 81,000 square feet of natural grass from Colorado will be put in. LED grow lights all the way from the Netherlands are also on the way to get the pitch in the best shape possible for the big match.
Once it's all rolled out and put together, it'll actually be stitched together with a specialized piece of equipment just to give it that extra structural integrity for when players are running around, cleats are on it, turning, and really primarily to hold up for 7 matches.
The goal is to have the pitch ready to go by May 28th. We can't wait. All right, in Northwest Houston, a vocational school is helping people turn their lives around, training barbers and cosmetologists, many of them coming right out of the prison system and looking for a second chance. For one man, that opportunity helped him rebuild his life. Now he's helping others reshape theirs. Michelle Choi is back with his story.
The sound of a second chance taking shape inside Northwest Educational Center, where every cut is about more than what you see in the mirror. For Anthony Sanchez,
Put some texture in the top.
this is where everything changed.
I was incarcerated at 17 years old for multiple armed robberies and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
A past that nearly defined his future.
I believed that either I was going to die in the system or receive more time for the violence and brutality that happens on a day-to-day basis in TDC jail.
He survived, served 10 years, and when he got out, he had a vision to become a barber.
Going to multiple different barber colleges trying to apply, I was denied because I am a convicted felon. People don't realize that once you're labeled a felon in the state of Texas, it's hard to get employment.
Until Northwest Educational Center took a chance on him.
And they gave me a scholarship, so it was the greatest gift that I could even acquire.
One of the oldest vocational schools in Texas, it's the place where he learned the craft, earned his license, and found purpose.
So right here, we're on the senior floor.
Now he's helping to shape a future for others.
It's a blessing to give back to the underserved community and especially the youth coming into our program, seeing them grow, prosper, and make their dreams a reality.
Because he knows exactly what that opportunity can mean.
They understand that I come from the same cloth as them, that I experienced the same adversity.
From TDCJ re-entry classes where he speaks to inmates, to neighborhoods across Houston, helping others line up a future they didn't think was possible.
This is where it all started, right here.
For recent graduate Javier Gomez, a barbering book he discovered in prison sparked a dream.
And I kept reading it because this was my dream.
But once he got out, reality quickly set in.
Coming out of prison, it's like, who's gonna hire me?
Until he found someone who understood.
I said, what do I have to lose? I really have everything to gain.
And Javier says Anthony is helping others like him avoid the same path. People like current cosmetology student Mallory Cruz.
I hung out with the wrong set of people and stuff, and I wasn't making the right decisions. And, I was always catching myself getting into it with the laws, and, I couldn't escape from it.
Until she walked through these doors.
I just thought that it was a second chance at life.
Did you pass your test?
For Anthony, it all comes back to this place, a place that believed in him, now helping others believe in themselves.
It's not your past that defines you. The way you respond to the situation defines who you are.
In Houston, Michelle Choi, KHOU 11 News.
Love that story and love that effort there. All right, thank you so much, Michelle. That's a wrap of your Houston headlines. I'm Trason Bragg.